Right, hi everyone, and welcome back to Exehaven Harbour. A little bit late on this update. A few things been going on. I haven't been able to get to the layout for varying reasons, and one of the main reasons was that me and Mrs Exehaven have both been struck down with the dreaded COVID, and I was out of action for about a week or so. So that sort of kind of killed a lot of the action there. It's not the episode that you may have been expecting. Well, actually, just before I got COVID, it would have been a continuation of me hopefully fitting the point motors here at Budleigh Regis Station. Now, over the last few weeks I've been having a bit of a think, especially while I had COVID. I couldn't do much, and as you do, your mind starts wandering, and I've been a little bit unhappy with the way that some of the engines perform around this layout. Now, the layout itself is I mean, the track has been laid pretty well. I'm really pleased with it. But some of the gradients are a little bit steep, and my Castle class steam locomotive can't get round and up some of them gradients. It can only do it with 4 carriages, and that really annoys me, because I actually want that having 8 to 10 carriages behind it, and you know, that is the whole thing for me. So this episode is a big step. I had I don't know whether some of you watched last Saturday morning's episode of Charlie Bishop, and his episode was very interesting actually, in terms of I think he called it something like the mistakes I've made. Now, it was kind of like an epiphany, if I can call it that, and I sat there and I thought, it's a turning point, and it's been on my mind. It has been on my mind. I'm going to take everything up and redo it. It's going to be completely different in some respects to what it is now. The track plan will change slightly. We'll go into that in a little bit. And what I'm going to do is actually lower everything. This is going to come down. Everything's going to be on the flat. I'm going to correct some of the mistakes that I've made, and over the 2.5-3 years that I've been doing this now, I've really learned a lot, and I still wouldn't say that I really know what I'm doing, but I do know from a certain point of view what I really want. And having everything running up on these sort of platforms, as it were, does restrict me in many ways, in terms of I can't get much in. I mean, planning Budleigh Regis Station here, for example, it took ages. Excuse me. And you know, I've got to the point where I'm starting to put the point motors in, and after watching Charlie on Saturday morning, I thought, no, that's it, John, stop. Before we start getting on the scenery and getting on to everything else, let's just take a step back. I mean, I'm sure it's going to take me a little while to do it, and I'm probably going to lose a few people in terms of subscribers, because effectively what I'm going to do is start again. I'm hoping it won't take me nowhere near as long this time, because I kind of know what I want to do. Like I say, this is all going to come out the upper levels as such. Well, all the levels that will come out, and it will be flat baseboards, but there will be a slight change of plan, and we'll go into that now. So let me move the tripod, and we'll show you what we... Right, so what we're going to do then is this. I'll try not to be too long-winded about it, but Budleigh Regis, as we see here, will now become Exehaven Harbour, and Exehaven Harbour will take up all of the front of the layout right across to here, right across and over to there. Everything, like I say, will be on the flat. This will all be taken out. Exehaven Town will now reside here. There'll be another sort of reasonably large station here. We'll come round and across where the two big bridges are now. They won't be there, obviously. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use these bridges again or not. I might do, I might not. But what I'm going to do, the river estuary coming in from the sea will be cut in and down. So that will come down about 4 or 5 centimetres, and that will create a level for the bridge to go over. Budleigh Regis will move into this section here. These bridges won't be here. And the lovely little seaside town, Budleigh Regis, will reside around about here in the middle at the back. Something else I'm going to change here, a mistake that I did make. What I'm going to do is just reduce this down. That is 4 foot wide, and it's so difficult to get to the back of the track to clean it, and I'm not getting any younger, so we're going to take a foot off of that, 30 centimetres. We're going to take that away so that I can get in there. There's going to be plenty of room. This section down here where Exehaven Harbour station currently would be, this will all be scenery now. And you know, whatever that may turn out to be, but it will be, all of these higher levels will be gone. The levels will be created with hills and everything, obviously, but without having to do the levels like this. Exehaven Town Station will be like a junction station, because there will be lines going off into the harbour and lines continuing round. And what I also intend to have, if I'm sure a lot of you watch Graham Falston's Lakeside Railway, he's got 4 tracks. He can run 4 trains independently, and that's what we're going to have here. There's going to be a double track main line, and there's going to be a double track local line as such, and they will intertwine. There will be slight level changes with the tracks, but not on the extent that they are now, and everything should be able to get round with a full rake of coaches. Obviously on the local line, you know, it'll probably be a maximum of 4 coaches going on there, or, you know, whatever it may be, but this is what we're going to do. So it will still be interesting, and it will still be fun to run. Right at the front here at Exehaven Harbour, this will probably be the passenger part of it, passenger terminal, because the station will run into here. Right by the passenger terminal, and right across the front here, well, you can't see that now because of the raised level, will be all of the freight operations around there, which will give me some playability while all the trains are running around. So, you know, in the future we're going to have 4 trains running, and they'll all be independent of each other while I can go and do something else somewhere else. I don't know how long this is going to take me, but I've never set a limit. You know, this is a hobby for the rest of my life, and something that I really enjoy. I hope you all stick with me and follow the plans, because I think it's quite exciting, and I've caught it at the point where I think, you know, it makes sense to do it. You know, a lot of you might be scratching your heads and thinking, blimey, you spent so much time putting that all together. But I hope you understand how I feel about it. And you know, it's still going to be Exehaven, and we're still going to have a lot of fun with it as we go along. So please stick with me, and that's kind of what we're going to do in a nutshell. There might even be another little river that I might tuck in somewhere, just to give it a little bit of a scenic, you know, a bit more scenic fun, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, so big changes. So I hope you all stick with me. I hope you understand my reasonings. And it isn't just the steam engines that can't make the gradients. I've got 2 or 3 of the diesels that don't like it either. They really do struggle to get up there. And the gradients are no more than about 3%. But they do go up on a curve, and I think that's where they really lose their impetus as such. And it has annoyed me for a little while, but I've lived with it because of how far I've got. But I think that, like I've said earlier in the earlier segment, is that I've got to this point, and it's a point, if you like, if I go any further, it'll be past the point of no return. If I start sticking loads and loads of scenery on there, and then I'm thinking, I wish I'd changed that. And Charlie, if you ever watch this, I think I'm thanking you. I think. But yeah, it should be fun. It's going to be a bit boring for a little while. I might not make another video for another month or so whilst I start doing this. Me and Mrs. Exehaven were off on a holiday, a lovely cruise at the end of this week. When this video goes out, we'll be on our way, and once I come back, I'll start afresh. In a lot of ways, it's actually really cleared my mind, because it has in the past sort of 2 or 3 weeks started bothering me, and I'm pleased I've made the decision. I'm sure some of you might be shocked, and some of you might think, well, what the bloody hell is he doing? I don't know really, but I do know that I want to change some of these things, and you know, I'll be happier with the layout if I do that. It will still be much the same. It still will be Exehaven Harbour, Budley Regis. There'll probably be, and there'll be Exehaven Town, and there may even be another little station as well. We'll deal with that as the time comes along. But I really am looking forward to the fact that I will be able to run 4 trains at once, which would be brilliant. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy about model railways, is watching the trains run round. The trains will, in the main, be pertinent to the area that the railway set, which is in sort of South Devon as such, the crossover between Southern and Great Western. But there are so many locos that I like, and you know, there will be occasions that Rule 1 comes in, and I'll be running some other bits and pieces that I enjoy, but predominantly it will be Southern Region and Great Western, and the period may even get a little bit more extended, and it'll go from perhaps the first period of British Rail right up to perhaps even the mid-70s. But obviously they won't be running concurrently with, you know, different eras. They'll all, I will probably run it as an era when I'm running the trains anyway, as a Pacific era. So anyway, there's me starting to ramble, and this video is getting quite a lot longer than I expected it to be. So thanks ever so much for all your support. We have crossed over that 1,000 subscriber line just, and I'm really pleased with that. That's fantastic, and I hope you all stick with me, because it still will be a fabulous layout, I hope, at the end, which will be even longer now. I've not ever set myself a time limit on finishing it, and it is a project for my retirement, or part, you know, one of the things that I like doing, and I do it when I can. Some weeks I'll only spend an hour out here, other weeks I could spend 10-20 hours out here, but it just depends on what's going on in my life. But it's a lovely hobby. Enjoy yours. I'll speak to you all soon. I might even do a little 1,000 subscriber thank you at some point. I can't run any trains now because it's all been disconnected. That was something else I was going to tag on to this, but I can't now. I've got too far ahead. Okay guys and girls, thank you very much for your support, and I shall speak to you soon. Cheers.